Ok, thì đầu tiên thì mình tên Chiến. Thì hiện tại nói về các bạn thì tôi cũng thấy là cái buổi meeting ngày hôm nay là buổi training cho các bạn trainee trong công ty khi mà tham gia chương trình mentorship của công ty. Thì cái cuộc nói chuyện ngày hôm nay của chúng ta sẽ về vị trí Data Analyst và công việc của Data Analyst trong một cái công ty. Và tuy nhiên là đây chỉ là một cái in general thôi. Ngoài ra chúng ta còn có thể bàn thêm về những cái vị trí khác như là Data Engineer hay là Data Scientist. Thì hôm nay là thì công ty đã mời được Lợi và Bình. Lợi thì là Melbourne based, còn Bình thì đang ở Việt Nam, nên là chúng ta có được một cái góc nhìn rất là rộng từ cả hai cái thị trường. Thì không biết Lợi và Bình có thể giới thiệu một chút được không? Chắc là Lợi trước đi ha.
Dạ, thì mình là Lợi, thì hiện tại mình đang công tác ở ANZ. Mình đang làm Data Engineer và cả Data Scientist luôn. Thì cùng thời điểm đó thì mình cũng đang làm nghiên cứu sinh cho Deakin University mảng Data Science. Thì hy vọng là mình có thể cho các bạn, tại vì trong công ty mình thì mình cho lúc mà nó mới bắt đầu là một cái startup nhỏ trong ANZ, thì mình có một cái góc nhìn từ lúc cả cái AI journey của một cái công ty, thì hy vọng mình cho các bạn biết được cái góc nhìn từ nhiều vị trí khác nhau, những giai đoạn khác nhau của một cái công ty.
Ok, cảm ơn Lợi rất nhiều.
Xin chào anh Chiến, chào mọi người. Thì mình tên là Bình. Hiện tại thì mình đang làm Data Science và apply vào mảng Security ở Zalo Việt Nam. Thì mong là hôm nay buổi chia sẻ của mình sẽ giúp cho bạn có một cái góc nhìn coi xem là data ở Việt Nam thì họ đang làm những gì. Rồi, cảm ơn mọi người.
Cảm ơn Bình nhiều. Ok, thì hiện tại xem mình thấy nào, thì có các bạn tham gia hiện tại là trong cái buổi ngày hôm nay, thì có các bạn tham gia cả từ trong công ty, trainee trong công ty, những các bạn ở bên ngoài công ty cùng tham gia. Thì cái cách mà nói chuyện của chúng ta sẽ khá là informal. Mình muốn là nó là giống như một cái buổi training và fun một chút, và nên là sẽ encourage mọi người để interact với khách mời nhiều hơn bằng cách là đặt câu hỏi. Nên là nếu mọi người có câu hỏi gì thì cứ viết lên trong đoạn chat ha. Chữ khơi. Okay. All right, guys. So, how do you think about it with just only speaking English?
It's okay.
Yeah, it should be fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
Okay. Because we have a guest named Gianu. Yeah. Hi, Gianu. Sorry, basically, but basically I have no idea that you're going to join in the sessions. Yeah, so basically at the beginning we just speak Vietnamese, but from now on we're going to speak English as the main language for discussing.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right, gotcha. Yeah, no worries. All right. Just give me a second. I'm gonna share something about. Wait. Chị Clay ơi, cho em hỏi xíu là sao cái của mình không share được ta, không share được screen ta. Em đã dùng account host mà ta.
Được chứ, mở Discord. Rồi. Để chị thoát ra ha.
Dạ.
Để chị thoát ra em. You try again.
Hoặc không là chị share cho em quyển share screen cũng được.
Okay, can you share now?
Okay. All right. Yeah, so basically to discuss today, we're gonna distinguish between the three positions: data scientist, data analyst, and data engineer. So basically, this one is this infographic is from University of Adelaide in Australia. As you can see, they are quite clearly in the way of distinguish between three positions. At first, for the data scientists, they mainly focus on develop, implement, or develop the algorithm to solve the business problem of the company. Sometimes they think about it that way. Sometimes the manager, they're going to come and ask, hey, data scientist, could you help me to build a new algorithm that could boost the profit of our supply chain or the company for about 20%? And that's basically what the data scientist is going to do based on the definition. And for data analysts, let's think about it like if we have some marketing data, some marketing teammate come to our office and asking a data analyst, hey, could you help me to find the insight from the marketing data that we collected from the last campaign? Yeah, so the data analyst mainly focus on defining the insights, and for data engineer, they primarily focus on building an infrastructure and architect something like in-premise data server or on-cloud data server, so they can help the company to collect building the data pipeline and generate the clean data for data scientists or data analysts, so they could continue with the next step of finding the insight or building the algorithm. All right. Like could you somehow share your experience or the point of view about those three positions? Yeah, but yeah, like could you come first?
Yeah. So I think this is a part might talk about this one. And I think when we want to distinguish between the three positions, we have to look back at the history of the data and AI journey of the company. Then we have a more detailed understanding about three positions. So I think I'm gonna cover later during my my session and my sharing. So Ben, you can go first.
Okay. Yeah. So for distinguishing three dispositions, so the first one is data analyst. So in my team, I also do something in this position, like always every week I will analyze that where is the origin of clone of last week, or which is attack the user. So I will propose that, for example, the clone is from Cambodia, the IP from Cambodia. That is the insight that I analyze from the data of the last week. So that is my experience in data analyst. And in data engineer, so I also do something in this position, like I will make the API, like I will call API from other team like AI team to help me some some advanced model, like so in my team, the result is not enough for me to make the big model, like how to find the similar images. So the result is not enough in my team, so that I will make the API to call from the AI team to help me do my job, do my things in my team. And about data scientist, I will make some hypotheses that, for example, I will make hypothesis about clone. So because I know that last week almost clone is from Cambodia, so that I proposed the hypothesis that the device that from IP from Cambodia is clone, and I will test that hypothesis is right or wrong. Make the model to test the hypothesis. Yeah, that is my experience from 3 positions. Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. All right. So this is one of the questions for my trainee. Like, is there any differences between of the data analyst in a big company versus in a small company, like in a startup?
Yep. Jing, you want me to
Yeah.
share about that? I think I can share the screen, then talk about that one, so maybe you can understand and have some idea about that question as well.
Yeah. So all right. So I'm gonna stop sharing.
Oh, so I cannot share the screen.
All right, just give me a second. Okay, could you give it another try?
Oh yeah, all right. Let me try it. Okay. Oh, okay. Give me a second. I have to quit and rejoin.
Yeah, sure. That's all right.
Yep, I can see it now. All right, can you see the screen?
Yeah, we got it. Beautiful.
Yeah. So maybe I'll do a bit of introduction about myself. So everyone join later can have a bit of context. So basically, in ANZ, I'll help the team in every phase of AI journey. Like everything they need my help on it, I'll jump into that and help them on that. So my responsibility is like in the horizontal side of things rather than focus on one specific thing. So this is the journey of the company, every company that's starting with AI and data analytics. So at first I thought that this journey is really unique to my team, but then after talking to many people working in the same field in different companies, I realized that it's a kind of like the universal pattern for them. So let me explain what this one is about. Let's see if I can use the notation here. Nope. All right. So when a company they decided that they want to start with the AI journey, they wanted to begin with that. So basically, the first phase that they gonna start is they will hire a lot of data scientists and data analysts into the team, and I call this phase AI honeymoon because at this time they only focus on using AI technology to build some proof of concept, to show some hypothesis in kind of like the business problem. And this is kind of the honeymoon because they don't have to think about how to serve this this solution with large scale or bring that to the end user to use it. There are two areas that they mainly focus on. That's why they are descriptive analytics, meaning like you have the data, right? You want to explain and make sense of the data, getting some insight out of it. You make the analyze it and report that, present that to the stakeholders. And the second type is predictive analytics. So basically, you want to predict something in the future using the historical data that you already have. So these are the two major focus in the AI honeymoon phase. And if I have to logically separate out the responsibility of these two areas, then data analysts mostly focus on descriptive analytics, and data scientists, on the other hand, they will focus more on predictive analytics. So that is the definition on the ideal world. But in reality, companies, they tend to mix up the responsibility of these two titles together. So for example, sometimes data scientists, they call us the title data scientist, but mostly it's more like about doing analysis and reporting, doing visualization, rather than doing building any model, machine learning model or AI model. Or it can be the other way around. The title is data analyst, but but they are expected to build some basic model like natural language processing or something. So that's the reality in the industry. And after a while, right, they're familiar with some of the technology, some of the models. They have a successful use case. Now they have to think about the next problem. Where do they get the data from? Because in the past phase, right, they mainly play with toys data from Kaggle, from some of the public sources. They do have the data. They might have the data in their company, but they also fragmented in multiple places. And now, if they want to productionize it, deploy this model, this solution they already have into production, they have to think about where do they get the data, right? So that comes the next phase we call data sourcing. And then on the other side, because if that company decide that they want to go with predictive analytics, that means they have to deploy that model somewhere, right? So that the user can consume it. Like the example that Ben just mentioned, that if you have deployed the model somewhere, you can call the API to that model to get the prediction result back to the back end, and then display that on the front end so that the user can see it. So the whole solution or technology stack that enable that capabilities is called MLOps, which means you operationalize your ML solution. That's the one on the top here. That's two things, right? If they have enough money, they can do it in parallel. Or if they so like in some startup, they can call it a lot of investment or funding, and then so they can start two things at the same time. So most of the company I know, like Canva or Rockty in Sydney, they do it this way because they are hiring a lot of people. They have a lot of funding, so they do two things parallel at the same time. But let's say if you're working in a big company, big organization, even though they have money, right, but they're not giving you a big chunk of money at the same time. It's gonna be like phase by phase. So sometimes they choose to modernize their data architecture first before going to the MLOps phase. So MLOps is there's a lot of solutions out there right now, like Kubeflow or TensorFlow standard, and if you want to go with managed services, you can use something like Google Vertex AI or Azure Machine Learning Studio. But then on data sourcing, they also have to operationalize that data sourcing. So in the past, let's say the next phase of data engineering is that after you get the data, right, you have to think about the way how to monitoring all the pipelines that you have built to get those data, and you have to make sure that the data that you get will have some value to the team that building the model. What do we mean by that? So you have to continuously monitor the distribution of the data to make sure you don't have the data drift that's going to affect the model. So there are two sides of the problem. It's the data and the model. So that comes the concept of data ops. And based on these two demands, there are two new positions coming up. That is ML engineer and data engineer. So these days, depending on the maturity of the company, you will see that sometimes they will hire ML engineer rather than data scientist. So they want you. So if you work as an ML engineer, they want you to productionize whatever the solution that those data scientists has built. And if you are a data engineer, you mainly focus on the two areas below that, getting the data and operationalize the data sourcing tasks. So where we are at the moment, I think at the moment we are at this phase over here. So depending on which company in which area you want to work on, you have to be aware of where we are at the moment and focus on building the right skill for you. So hopefully this picture explains the difference between these positions. In big company, mature company, startup, in the AI honeymoon phases. Yeah, thank you. Back to you, Jin.
Wow, interesting. Ben, from your point of view, how do you think about that infographic, like, and the specialized in the different positions that just show us? I mean, from the point of view from the Vietnam market, because like I think like in Vietnam market, a lot of new company, a lot of startup about artificial intelligence, data science in Vietnam, data in Australia, I think might be a little more mature. So how do you think about the point of view?
Is that a question to me, Jin?
Yeah, to Bình.
So you want me that
Yeah. Maybe just share a little bit about like the different of those position in your company. Yeah. For some company, the differences in different those position, they might be overlapping. Like for some startup, the data scientists, they also have to do the job of a data analyst, or sometimes also have to carry the task of the data engineer. So, and how about in your company?
Yeah, so in my team, I also do the things of data analyst or data engineer, like calling BI, like how to handle data, how to clean the data. Yeah, so I have to handle on the process of 3D position. Yeah, like that. I think my boss want me to learn overall about the data, 3D position, for me to see the overall first, and after that, my boss will arm me to the data science. more deeply about data science. But now I have to do 3 dispositions. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of tasks, a lot of responsibilities.
Yeah.
So Ben, in this journey here, do you think where your company is at the moment on the AI journey?
AI journey. In my company, they I see that they have many models for their business problems. So I just improve it. Find any ways to improve the model that existing in the company. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I think like in the I feel like in the bank company we are only at the like at the beginning of the the chart that it shows. It's going to take a little bit of time to develop and become more mature. So the the responsibility and the tasks of those position could be more like distinguishable, like being more clearly separated. All right, so now we're gonna discuss a little bit about the key skill of to those positions. As you can see in the middle, for a data analyst, we need the technical know-how, some communication skills when working in a team, working in different teams, like for a data team with a marketing team or finance team, or supply chain team, some statistical programming languages like R, Python, data visualization, data warehousing, stakeholder management skill, and critical thinking. Basically like for a newbie or like a person who is seeking for a job as data analyst, I'm a bit confused when I think about how much of the math knowledge in general or statistical knowledge that I need to prepare is just like doing it to know a lot about statistics.
Yeah, I would say not that much. So mathematics skill, I would say that it's really close to zero, because like the only time that I have to recall those knowledge is when I do the PhD. The rest in my daily job, I haven't touched any of the math problem. Statistics, depending on the company. So mostly the basic skill is just like require you to interpret the data, like the mean, standard deviation, and the box plot, something like that. But any advanced stuff like hypothesis testing, t-test, chi-square test, something like that, it's not really popular. Even like for big companies like INZ, when the technology is quite mature, we don't do that a lot. So at the moment, I'm trying to introduce the this concept to the team, but it's really hard to do so, because one thing is because the stakeholders, they don't understand much about statistics, so it's really hard to explain that. And the second thing is that in the curriculum or the program structure of the university these days, they tend to focus a lot on computing rather than the statistics. So the team members also having a hard time to adopt this knowledge, even though it's not a new thing. So that's the reality. So not much, don't worry about that. So you just have to understand some basic concept. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, what a relief. Bing. Could you give me some ideas about your site? Like, do you need a lot of math knowledge to do your job right now?
So in my job right now, I do some model based on normal distribution, like yeah, like when some area that have a lot of user pick up normally, yeah. So I based on that, I will find out maybe that is attackers, yeah, attackers in Zalo, yeah, want to spam everyone. So I based on that to find that is clone, and I will close on the accounts. Yeah, yeah,
okay, yeah. So basically, you also like don't use much about math and statistics, right? Just basic like mean variant.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you know, because like for a job seeker, especially someone who's looking for a data job, yeah, we had a burden about math knowledge, you know, is something is really hard to conquer. Yeah, but after sharing your Bing and Lai, I actually feel so much relief right now. Okay, so one thing we could notice here is in the key skill of data analyst, we also need to know about data warehousing. Yeah, so is it really necessary for data analysts to understand about data warehousing? Like,
Yeah, this one like depending on the company. So if you recall the journey that I shared before, right? Before we move into the phase that you really need to hire data engineering, you have a transition phase between a AI honeymoon phase. Maybe let me share that again. Yeah, I'll steal your screen for a second. Yeah. So this is what I'm talking about. So maybe in the transition phase here, where they haven't hired a data engineer or having a specific position for data engineer. Sometimes you will have, as a data analyst or data scientist, you will also have to work on data engineering as well. Just a little bit, not too intensive, but some basic knowledge is really helpful when your company is in the transition phase into that phase. But normally they don't expect you to do everything like building infrastructure or writing advanced pipeline with data engineering skill. Yeah, just basic knowledge is good enough.
Beautiful. Yeah, so like we got a question from Nguyen, and the question is, what should a person with a different background, like 6 or 7 years old marketing background, do to switch to data analyst career? Okay. Yeah. All right. So basically, I am also a person with a background business. I studied work in both sales marketing industry. And I am also looking for a data analyst job right now. So from my point of view is, first, just ask yourself, is it really like spend a lot of time looking to data, work with the data? Is it really your interest? You know, because like you're gonna have to sit in front of the computer for maybe a long time every day. Do you really want to do it? Yeah, that's my first question for you. And the second thing is, you need to minimize, like, have a real vision about real reason. Why do you want to know more about data? My background marketing. So the in in the path of career pursuing, in the school, in the uni, I chose to work with a lot of marketing or sell data. So from that time, I started building on my project, basically the all about marketing, all about the sell, all about solving the business problems. So that is the thing you could build up of and use your advantages as you had already had them, the background experience as a seller or a marketer. Okay. How do you think?
Yeah. Hi. Thank you for your answer.
Uh-huh.
And can you help me with the second one? I think
Yeah.
more important, like what step should I take? Should I start with a master degree related? Yeah, or start with the short courses, or yeah, or both. I mean, short courses to see if I'm good enough to study this, and start a master degree to have a proper degree in order to enter the job market, something like that, or any experience that I should prepare. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that is you know, a lot of conflict every time we like try to debate which way gonna help you to pursue a career as a data analyst. Yeah. Actually, I study master of data science. So my point of view and my preference is like come back to the school, try to build up a solid foundation. Yeah. So that could be my advice. But for some, with the different, like a lot of variety, you know, sometimes who working full time, sometimes has a family, so they cannot attend the university, so they selected a boot camp or short course to train themselves, and asking someone who already has experience. So after a few months, they can switch to career toward a data analyst. Yeah, basically that's my point of view. Yeah, so it's in summarizations, choose come back to school, pursue a master degree is a great choice in the long run, since you in the school they have you build a solid foundation. Yeah. Like or being how do you think? Could you help me to share more points from your perspective?
Actually, the main reason I want to switch to a data analyst career mostly because especially in Australian market, for permanent resident purpose.
Okay, all right, gotcha. Like, could you help me to share some idea in Australian market?
So I would say that there will be no deterministic answer for this. So whatever way that you choose, right, it will lead you to where you want to be in the future. If you know where you want to be in the future, let's say the goal for yourself is really clear that you want to have a permanent resident. So that's the goal, right? That's your goal. But you have to ask yourself, is it really the goal that you want, or you want something higher than that? Like having a job in Australia, having a life in Australia. So that's something really above and beyond having a permanent resident, right? Then you have to think about different strategy for that. If we only think about PR here, then I would say that maybe go with some popular role like IT software engineer. there'll be more opportunities out there. Data related job is really challenging. There's no 100% guaranteed. I would say that in the data language, the probability of getting the PR for by using the data related role is much lesser than the one go with IT software engineering. So you have to think about that one first. What is your primary goals? And if you want to focus on data related skill, so that you will have something beyond the purpose of having the PR, then I would suggest that try before you buy. You can try many soft courses on Coursera, Udemy, to see which one will fit you most. Like maybe you're from the marketing background, right? Then you must be really good at telling the story, because that's what marketers do, right? And storytelling is one of the major skills of data analyst. So that's already your advantage. And then also you must have kind of like the really good skill in visual aspect of something. So that really benefits. That will be beneficial for you in terms of data visualization or presenting something to the audience, and then also communication skill, right? A part of this storytelling skill. So that's the thing that I would like to say. That do figure out what do you want? What do you really want? Is it the PR or is it a live industry? I mean a real life, not just having a PR and then you work on something else.
Yeah, very interesting, Pori.
Thanks a lot for your sharing.
All right. Yep. Yep. No, just keep going. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are different ways, different career paths to get a PR in Australia. But I see that with my background, maybe this is most related career path that I can switch to, but I will try the short courses as you recommended. Yep. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I think that would be a good start.
Yep.
All right, beautiful. Yeah, so we have another question from Rosie, one of our trainee. All right, so the question is, do you think if a fresh graduate with little experience should join or start a company so he or she can learn a lot of things, or should her or she seek a position in a big company? All right, so small company or a big company? Bình, could you share me some point?
Yeah. So until now, I worked for 3 companies, and it includes startup and big company. Yeah, big company is the Zalo now. So I think that if you want to do about data, you should go to the big company. Yeah, it's because it has a lot of data for you to analyze, to make model. Yeah, and if you work in startup, Mr. Lai shared that the data, I think it almost in the honeymoon, honeymoon. Like you have to gather much data to prepare for the data for the data part for longer part. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so the thing is, yeah, great. If you enjoy a company, it has already have a bunch of data. Yeah, but I'm a bit like confused, like if someone with a little experience, is it like should be join or start a company is better? Yeah, you know, because like a big company is going to be a very a tiny chance or a slim chance to get recruited by them. But for start a company, a new company, maybe the competitions are going to be less, so more choice for people with less or maybe no experience, like a fresh graduate.
Yeah. So I guess for startup, or let's say a company that just start the journey with data and AI, if you can group them basically into two groups. The first one is the one that having an existing business and they want to apply AI solution on top. The second one is the startup. So both of them are startup, right? Like first starter in AI journey. The second one is startup. They don't have the existing business, but they start the whole new business model with AI. Then I would say that the first one, like the one with existing business, and they're gonna start with AI journey. That's the most boring one. Yeah, because like I mentioned, it's like quite early in the phase. The way they everything is quite manual. You work with your Jupyter notebook or with the local computer, with your laptop only. Nothing really fancy like cloud computing or anything. The second one though, like the startup with the whole new business model using AI, that's one is quite interesting and they move quite fast. So that means you can learn a lot when you join those companies. So I will give an example like the company that I know in the finance industry is Rocky. They are a big company now. They based in New York. So they have the whole new business model using AI recommendation system. Then they will plug their solution into any company that want to implement that. So let's say you're buying a ticket to a concert, right? Music concerts, and when you checking out, it will automatically recommend any of the service like restaurant service, taxi service in real time. So those are the real business model, the new business model using AI technology, and joining those companies, you will have more opportunity to learn. But in the first one, right, in the first type, companies with existing business want to do transformation or beginning with the AI journey. The advantage is that you join them in the really first phase, and if you patient enough to stay in that company, when they mature, you will have a chance to become a senior member of that company.
Oh,
yeah, but it's gonna be a really long time. But the skill that you're gonna learn is that you know how the entire journey look like, how you build up the entire operation from scratch. That's one thing about startup and small company. Big company, they do have the benefit of job security. Everything is stable. You don't have to worry about losing your job. Some days you just have to focus on doing your thing. But it doesn't mean that you don't have the opportunity to explore and doing more than just a specific role. So big companies these days, they have a really great culture of so they don't really fix you into one position or one role that you have to do for your entire job, your entire time you spend with the company. You can, let's say you found a problem, right? And you're saying that, okay, based on your knowledge, you know a good solution for that. Then no matter what your title is or what is the first responsibility that they assign to you, you can also come up with the idea and apply that. Even though the title is let's say the title is data analyst, doesn't mean you cannot do the job of the data scientist can do or a data engineer can do.
Oh, in a big company.
Yeah, the culture is really different now.
Wow. Yeah, Rosie. All right. So yeah, the big company is a sweet spot that you should aim in right now. Yeah. So
yeah. Another point I want to add is that for big company, the operation is really much mature. So when you join that company, everything is like having a really stable process already. You don't have to struggle yourself with the process or the system. The process, the system already there to support you.
Yeah. All right. So could you share a bit about if for someone who mean to graduate in the next year, what should they do so they can compete with another candidates so they can find or recruited by a big company? What should they do right now?
For data analyst, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So I think let me share the screen again. So I intentionally create this one for data engineer, but I think we could use the same concept to talk about that. So this is the journey, right? I just mentioned that, and whatever position that you want to go on with data analyst, data scientist, data engineer, or ML engineer, the first, and it's not just about the skill set that you want to build or the job title that you want to work on. You have to be aware of the current context in the industry. What do we mean by that? So this is the context, right? So at the moment, things like cloud platform and digitalization is something really popular, right? So this day we don't discuss like, should we do digital transformation or should we move to the cloud? We don't discuss that anymore. The question is when. So all companies, they know about that. Then they already start the journey. So that's why cloud platform digitalization is really popular right now. That like I indicate here, we are in this area that, so whatever position that you work on, you have to build your skill set based on the current context. That means you have to look at something like having the knowledge about cloud platform, even though you're not the one that's gonna build it. And then because of the historical context and the journeys that the company is in right now, depending on their scale. So most of them are in this area right here, and therefore you must have some kind of mixed knowledge between those area, MLOps, data sourcing, data analytics, or building the ML models. One of the concept that you can follow is the T-shape. Let me switch to this screen here. So I think this is a really good concept or the model that you can follow. So this will help you build up the competencies against another candidate. So T-shape means that you have a really deep knowledge about one specific area, while on the horizontal bar you have a really wide understanding about the context and the technology or any skill set using that business. So this one is for data scientists. So let me zoom that in. I would say that for data analysts, try to build your skill set based on this model as well, because this day having just only narrow knowledge in one area is not enough for you to be more competent against another candidate, right? If you want to have a high chance of landing the job, you have to expand a lot more on the horizontal bar. Let's say, for example, for the data analyst, try to learn more tools in that area, like data visualization tool, building interactive visualization, or having the knowledge about a cloud platform, because like I mentioned, it's the current context that when you apply for the job related to data, they would expect you to know something about cloud platform, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that about it. So try to have a really deep understanding about the field that you work. For example, on the vertical bar, try to familiarize yourself with statistics, having a really good understanding about that, and having a really good research skill, because you're gonna use that research skill to learn new things in the future, whatever the business needs. And then on the horizontal bar, you try to explore more area and more kind of technology and tools.
Yeah. Do you know that I'm also one of your follower on Medium? Yeah, I did. I did follow you.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that.
All right. So maybe the last question now, because we almost eat up all the time of the meeting. All right. So today we have we're very lucky to have Khoi for tonight. Khoi was a mentee in our mentor programming, but now he just landed on his full-time job after joining our program. So Khoi, could you share a little bit about how did you land that? It's just magical.
So hi everyone, my name is Khoi. Actually, my journey is not something so magical. Like I said, actually I last year, just like you guys, I saw a post about an internship of MentorME. Then I'm a little bit desperate at that time, so I just take any chance that I think might work. And I think some advice I can give to you guys, like when you attend an internship, you please don't care about they're gonna pay you or not. That is it's a little bit sensitive, but trust me, just the things you need to focus is get things done, and then keep your head down. And because I to be honest, I think that we as a undergraduate student, the experience is more important than the money you get. And so it's just about my journeys in internship. It's I start at the front end intern, yeah, and suddenly my tech lead is a very genius guy. It's he handle all the back end stuff, and then one beautiful day he left the company, and he left the whole project just for two undergraduate developers like me and my friends. So luckily, I become from a front end intern, I suddenly become a back end developer for the project, and I had to study everything from scratch again. Yeah, but this is very interesting experience. Because I think when you join the company, I can guarantee that they're not gonna give you the favorite tech stack. It's for example, you are a Node.js developer. But when you come to the company, they want you to implement everything in Java. And you are good at backend, right? But when you come to the company, they want you to engage in DevOps. It's like I've been in this situation right now. It's like they want me to do a whole suite stuff. Like I had to create a microservice and then I deploy into AWS, EC2, ECS, something like that. This is thing that I haven't heard about that before. And after that, I can realize that, you know, the thing is that, like our mentor said, please don't focus on one technology. You have to like expand your knowledge, and then you have to show the employer that you be able to learn and to be able to adapt.
Yeah,
and
true.
Yeah, and it's about the advice on getting a job. I think so. I'm not gonna talk about the technical stuff, all right? So I think because you guys, I think you guys know a lot, because I'm like a developer. I'm not a data analyst. So I think that the things you guys need to get is, first you have to have an internship first. Then after you gain some experience, you have some hands-on experience for about 6 or 8 months, and then I think it's going to be good for you guys to find the first job. The second thing is for the IT guys, okay, you have to expand your connection. This is very, very important stuff. Go and talk to your friends in school. Please don't just be don't try to be cool. Yeah, please, like, try and talk to people. As you don't know, like for me, it's like I have been like searching for a job for 2 months, and I applied for hundreds of the job in LinkedIn. No one's everyone denied me. I don't know why, but recently 2 of my offers is from, it's like I got referrals. Yeah, I have to say, to be honest, it's like, it's not about my CV. It's not impressive enough, but like my CV cannot come to the employer. It's like there's too many. I don't know what I don't know how the algorithm work in LinkedIn. It's like your CV you send to Indeed or Glassdoor or something that I don't know, but it cannot get to the employer, so they cannot see your CV, so they cannot like judge you based on your experience. So that's why I say that the connection is very important. And if you got that, your friend just sends your CV straight on to the employer. I think this is very helpful tools to get a job. And the final thing is like you have to be prepared for like the challenge you have to face. Like me, like for all the things. It's like since I chose a company, my new company, there's nothing that I know. There's like everything I learned now, I haven't tried them before in my uni. Yeah, so be hungry, and then try to show them you're a person that can learn and can adopt. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, thanks you guys.
Yeah, so networks is extremely important. So keep hang out with your friend during weekend. Don't just stay at home. Have some beer, have some fun. Maybe they're gonna have. Thanks to them, you might get some job someday. So yeah, funny and job at the same time, huh? All right, so maybe we might finish the session tonight. Is quite late in Melbourne right now. Yeah, so one again, thanks the trainers who like and being joy with it tonight, and thanks everyone for spending your precious time on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening to enjoy with us. Hopefully you already have some useful lessons, something you already pick up and help you in the future. So happy Sunday, everyone. Hope to see you again in the next session of the Data Analyst training of the MentorME program. All right.
Thank you
Bye
so much.
Yeah, thanks all. Have a good night, everyone.
Cảm ơn Lợi, cảm ơn Bình ha.
See you everyone.
Yeah.
Wow. Ok, hôm nay khá là tốt ha. Yeah. Bản thân anh cũng học khá là nhiều thứ đó. Cảm ơn Bình ha. Thì chắc là hôm nào anh phải nhờ Nguyên đãi em một bữa mới được.
Dạ không anh ơi. hôm nay tính ra là em vô đây em cũng học được rất là nhiều thứ. Dạ, cảm ơn anh nhiều. Dạ.
Cảm ơn Nhi, cảm ơn Bình. Hẹn
Dạ.
gặp mọi người.
Dạ, ok, bye bye anh.
Bye mọi người.